For this gameplay run through, we're going to be using the upgrade pack. I believe this upgrade pack came with the Kickstarter, but because I picked up Mindspace loose, I went and ordered the upgrade kit separately, which comes with another set of colored markers as well as brain dice. But if you were to get the regular Mindspace ones, it's awesome. They have great colored dice, so you don't have to get the brain dice, but I like the aesthetics of it, so that's why we got them. So you're going to gather these. These are the pursuit cards, and you're going to form a row of pursuit cards, 5 face up and then 1 face down, placing the deck of remaining pursuit cards next to the row. Each of the pursuit cards align with a location of the dice that you'll roll. So if you roll a 1, you'll put it in the first pursuit card slot all the way to 6. And you'll see this through the gameplay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to separate the goal decks into A, B, C piles. The A, B, C, and D banner is at the upper left-hand corner of the cards. And you're going to shuffle each deck and then pick 1 from each of the designations. When you play them during the game, even in solo, you're going to want the numbers face up, because what will happen is the automa in the game will actually take the highest score, and you will have to have the leftover score, which is on the right-hand side of the slash, if you don't complete the task in enough time. And what we really like about this game is this is more or less a mental health style game. It is a strategy roll and write that attempts to have the player balance their brain properly amongst all different types of categories. And we thought, because Dopico does such great work with the community and in the field of mental health, and this was our first video on YouTube, that this would be the perfect game as our very first playthrough video for you all. So each of these categories are identified on the back of the scoreboard, but just for the sake of this run through, we're going to explain each of the colors. So orange is friendship. Every time you draw an orange shape, cross off the leftmost box in the orange section of your scoreboard, and at the end of the game, score points equal to the leftmost number that is not crossed off. Purple is hobbies. At the end of the game, you're going to score 2 points for each purple space that's adjacent to an orange space. Green is finances. When you draw a green shape, fill in a coin on your track, and when you spend a coin, cross it off to show what was spent. Every player at the very beginning of the game gets a single coin, and then it grows throughout gameplay. Pink is, of course, romance. At the end of the game, for each pink shape drawn, you're going to find every instance of that shape drawn in a non-pink color. Score 1 point per space in those matching non-pink shapes. And finally, the blue is self-improvement. Each time you color a space blue in a brain section that doesn't already have a blue space, cross off the leftmost box in the blue section of your scoreboard. You can cross off multiple boxes in one turn, and at the end of the game, you're going to lose points equal to the leftmost number that's not crossed off. After you have your pursuit cards laid out and your goal cards identified and laid out, you're going to roll the dice. You use the result of that one roll and place each die next to the pursuit card based to the number roll. So 1s go next to the first face-up pursuit cards, 2 go to the second pursuit cards, and on all the way through 6. Now what this does is it identifies a color for each shape on the pursuit cards. That will be your choices during gameplay to put onto your player board. Harkening back to the scoring mechanisms and the discussion of the player board is actually kind of a brain that you see there with the synapses and stuff in between, taking up some of the spaces. And the scorecard will score according to the categories of the colors that were previously discussed. And you'll see this through the gameplay, so if you don't hold it all in right now, it's fine, because we're going to go through the game in a little bit, through a run through, and you'll see how it all works out. So these are all the different possibilities of shapes. Over the course of gameplay, you're probably not going to hit every single one of these. As you saw in the example roll, Some of the dice will actually be the same number, so you'll have to repeat those shapes over and over again. So that's kind of where the balance is you're hoping that you can get the shapes that you want, but at the same time, you're trying to balance making sure that you get a good enough score with the shapes that you actually roll and that you're stuck with. Now for this gameplay, we'll be using the solo rules, which I've posted here. So the reminders you see here are on the back of the shape reference card. You can always use any die color to draw a 1x2 instead of a shape on the card. So if you don't want an L and you wanted a different shape, you can choose to draw a 1x2 in, say, orange or pink or blue. Every new shape must be adjacent to a shape already in your brain. You can't have it floating out in a new section of your brain. Everything has to be adjacent. You can't draw shapes that are of the same color adjacent to each other. And then this is basically, you see there at the bottom, like how you spend your money. So you can spend $1 to fill a blank space. Blank spaces can be adjacent to any other blank spaces. You can spend $2 when drawing a shape to use a die or color not assigned to that shape. And you can spend $3 to use a die to draw an additional shape that turn. You cannot use the same die twice. So there's a lot of flexibility in there that kind of allows you to ramp up the scoring. But it's still, there's a luck element in there where you're dependent on the die that you're actually rolling. And money's at a premium. So you're not always going to have a lot of cash flow at your disposal to actually go in and utilize a lot of these rules for dollars. Now, once you finish with setup, once you finish with the initial roll, this is what your beginning game space should look like. You should have the markers close at hand. Your dice should be put in place in the proper location underneath the pursuit cards. And your gold deck cards should be across the top so that you can kind of identify what additional goals for scoring you're looking for. All right, everybody, and welcome to our first video for the YouTube channel. And if you're into short games or just kind of want to support orthogonally adjacent in both, please like and subscribe here. Today we're going to play Mindspace by Allplay. This was part of a Kickstarter set. I did not back this set. I was really interested in this one. It is a 1 to 5 player game for ages 11 and up. It says that it's 30 minutes, fair for the first run through, and it gets faster. All right, now that you've watched the run through, I've already laid out everything just to kind of cut that time back. What we've got are the goal objectives. I've shuffled each of the piles and I've laid out the ones that we've actually chosen. So we have Achiever, which is fill one row or column across or down. You go through the sections of the brain. Or Passion Project, at least one purple space in each section. So if you can see this, there are dark lines that actually break up the sections of the brain. And for Passion Project, you need to have a purple square in each of those sections. And then the final one is a Life of Peace. Fill in the top right and bottom left sections. So basically you're working in a zigzag. These two pieces are much larger than the center. Sometimes it's pretty easy to fill up the center, but these are kind of a bear. I've gotten this one before, and I haven't always been able to get that. I think out of the 5 or 6 times that I've played, I've maybe been able to do it once by chance because you're really rolling on luck and the dice to depend on if you get the shapes that you need to actually do this. Even with some of the variants that you can do with the money, and we'll go through that in gameplay, I've only really managed to be able to do this one time. So what we've got here is a conveyor. You're going to roll the dice will stack according to what card there is. Right now we're starting round 1. We have one card that starts the game here. This will also be your 6D space, and then after round 1 the 5th card will fold over on top of the 6. Everything will convey down, and then we'll have another card that flips over here. Now this is important because once we get into the evaluation of the scoring mechanisms, if you have, let's just say, a pink space, like a pink shape that you want to utilize, it says matching shape of different color is 1 point per space. So if I were to roll a pink and then I were to draw this square on my first turn, round 2, that shape's going to go away. So you have to really kind of evaluate everything. You've got these major goal cards that you're trying to check on to see if you can achieve, and then you've got the actual scoring mechanisms to see if you can actually maximize. Now, because we're playing solo, we also have some solo rules here for after certain turns we're going to roll, and then that will end up flipping the goal cards from a maximum score size to the minimum score size as the game goes on. In all honesty, I have only played this solo. I'm sure that you could go up to the 5 people, and maybe some of you all have experience, and it's like 5 is fine. But I really enjoy this game solo. And sometimes I don't even bother with the scoring portion. I do it just to see if I can best myself. But what I really like about this game is there's a balance between what the game is trying to portray and what the game actually does. So you're trying to balance your brain, you're trying to bring like mental peace to yourself, but at the same time, as you play this game, it does feel that way as well, which I think is pretty cool. And because we have Dopiko as kind of our muse that does the opening song for our show, and she works in mental health, we thought that it was appropriate that we would do Mindspace as our first game, kind of as a nod to her for this. And I don't think that there's ever been a playthrough that I've gone through, I'm like, I just can't even finish this. Like, there's just something about it that at the end of the day, in those quiet times, that you can take this out, maybe play a couple rounds, and then put it away, and you're good to go. There's not a lot of stand-up time. Once you understand the rules, it's really, really quick, and it's really enjoyable. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to go through each of these sections. We kind of talked about that in the scoring and the setup at the very beginning intro section. But what I'm going to do is go through and then determine what shapes I want to pick, and then kind of explain why I'm picking what I'm picking, or things to think about during gameplay during the video. So with that, let's roll. All right, we have some 1s. Got 2 5s, and we got 3 5s. So not fabulous. So just to go with what I said, obviously we don't want to use the pink. Money will allow you to use different colors, different cards later on. I don't think that this is a necessity right now. For purple has to be adjoining 2 orange squares. So this purple is a possibility. Now, whether it's good or bad, my methodology when I play this is usually to get rid of all of these negatives. On the scoring card, you've got 2 sets of negatives that will deduct from your overall score at the end of the game. The first one is empty spaces. The second one is this blue section that starts you off at -16. So you literally have to, as you get into sections of the brain, for each section of the brain, mark off a square so that you can clear out the negativity out of your brain and then end up with 0 minus points at the end. So because the board is open, I always tend to lean towards blue, using blue dice first, because the board is the most open, and once you draw a space, you have to do everything else orthogonally adjacent to those spaces. So if I draw this L, I can draw the L anywhere, but then from there everything has to be adjacent. So just with that in mind, and the fact that we have a pretty large scale there, I might be able to kind of put this space in a good spot so that I can knock out multiple squares, because each of these squares is a section of the brain. So if I can use this shape to get into multiple sections, I can mark off multiple boxes. So let's see, that's a 3x3. So let's do this. Let me draw this here. Now, I've played with some people, and just for the sake of speed, they don't color it in. They want to just kind of mark the lines around it. And with certain colors, that works. But the more I've played this, and when I watched other people play it, the purple and the blues tend to dry out first. And so when you're trying to just do the outline on the board, it's hard to determine what is purple and what is blue. So you kind of get screwed up in the scoring or how you're even doing on any of these products. So I'm just going to color it all in for everybody. So now we've done one section of the brain, 2 sections of the brain, 3 sections of the brain. Now this is beneficial for multiple reasons, not only because I can mark off 3 sets of negative numbers, but if you look up at a life of peace, we've talked about trying to get all of these sections filled in. That helps with that. And then maybe even the row for achiever, that if I can get this row filled, then I can maximize those points. Because we only have 4 more rounds, and I'm going to lose one of these goals. So let's mark off the 3 spaces of the brain that I put that in. And we're good to go. We're going to keep rolling. Oh, actually we can't. Got to flip this over first. Round 1 is over. We're in round 2. Now we'll roll. 2 6s. Got a 2. Another 2. These rolls are not working for me today. And a 4. This pink's a possibility because it's a matching shape. Purple, I might have 2 chances. And then orange, if I did this with orange, I could mark off a space because I drew an orange shape and then mark that through. Let's see. I think what I'm going to try to do, I got one more round and I'm going to push my luck. And I'm going to take that purple and put it here so that I can work on this column and then hope that I get like an orange shape that I can run adjacent to it that works. So I am going to put purple here. Okay, so now I need to make sure that I put some oranges next to it because every purple block that's adjacent to an orange, whatever that number is, times 2 is my score for that. So you can really maximize that. All right, starting round 3. All right. See if we can get some not duplicate numbers. Nope. 2, 1, 5. Oh, there we go. That orange for that 5 works. You know what? Let's do this. That's 2, that's 1 touching, 2 touching, it's touching 3 purples. So, and it's working us towards that column. So I'm going to do this. Now you'll notice, I think everybody just kind of understands, but just for the sake of saying it, you'll see that the shape on the card isn't necessarily the way that you have to draw it. You can flip it, inverse it, flip it around, whatever you need to do to make sure that it fits on your space. All right, so I don't like using the color of it. I'm just gonna mark this off. So I got 3 points. Okay, let's pick these up. Put this over here. There's a big boy. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. We're starting round 4. Let's see how we're doing. So Achiever, we're pretty good on a column here. Passion Project, I only have, well, I have purple in 2 sections. Life of Peace, I got the middle but nothing else. Okay. So 6, 4, 5. This is a better spread. And 3. Now this is enticing because that could finish the column. The problem is it's adjacent. So you can't have the same color touching a color. So I can't do blue to blue here. So this one's kind of out unless I move it someplace else. Looking at it, I think Achiever is probably my best bet right now. So I don't really want to waste that. I could do this green and then just finish it. Or, let's see, 3. I could put another orange over here and do that too. But it's 1. It's only going 1 and then it goes into the gray portion. We can't do that. So, but I could do this. I think what I'm going to do, just to, yeah, I've got one more round. Let's just get it taken care of just in case. So I'm going to put the money down here, finances. And I'm going to do this too, right here. Now I could have done that orange and then the orange will get me because it's touching more purple squares. I probably could have gotten some more points. But now, color in a coin because I got a coin for that. But I did do Achiever. So I will take this. Well, actually what I'll do is I'll flip it and turn it sideways because I've already done it. I got 9 points for that. So you write that there at the top. And that will do that. Now we're getting ready to start round 5. After round 5, I have to roll a die and I'm going to lose one of these 2 left. So let's see what happens. Well, I already rolled these. So we've got a 1. 2 5s, 4, and a 3. I still have 2 more blues. There's some oranges there. See, it's 3 by 3, so I can't put that there. I could do, no, yeah, I could do 3 by 3 that way. Purple. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to push my luck here. I'm going to do the pink. And I'm going to put that here. Now, other than gameplay for families, because this is a pretty good family weight game, like the solo portion that I like, not only, just the calming of the game itself, you've got this kind of like psychological adult coloring thing going on with it. where it's like just, even if you just wanted to sit here and color it with markers, you could probably do that. All right, so we got that. And now I need to match that shape for the points. But what we're going to do is we're working on a life of peace. I don't know what's going to happen at the end of this now, though, which one we're going to lose. So we're going to flip this. All right. I'll re-roll this afterwards. So I rolled a 3. After turn 5, roll a die. 3, flip over, goal B. So I lose Passion Project at the maximum score. I can still get a 5, but I lose the maximum score on that one. So I still have a life of peace. If I can get all of that colored in, then I can still get 9 points until turn 8, where I'll probably lose that one. So I could work on Passion Project or continuing working Passion Project with purple, and I'll still get 5 points, but got to make sure that I pay attention to that. Let me re-roll this die. All right, so 2. And we've got 2 4s, 6, and a 5. Okay, so this mimics the pink. So if I did the green, it'll get me another coin, but it will also get me points for the pink. So I think I'm gonna just, because it works out pretty well, I'm going to do this. What I found out after multiple gameplays is I was counting every empty space at the end of the game and then deducting like 20 plus points off my score. So I was like, man, I'm not very good at this. And then I look down here, it says empty spaces in a brain section with the most. So the most that you would probably lose are like 2 or 3, and I was like wiping out like 23 points because I didn't fill up the whole brain. So maybe this time that I know how to score properly, my score will be a little more impressive. All right, so we got 5, and we've got this. So it's for 1 point for each space, so that's 5 points that we got just for mimicking that pink shape. Pretty good. Right. I always like to double check and make sure. I believe we just finished 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. So we're starting round 7 right now. One and another one. I don't think I've ever had this many duplicates in a game before. 2, 4, 5, and a 3. So what do we need? Blue would be helpful, just so we can knock out these last bits of negative. Orange would be great. What is orange? So if we did... Green is really good too, because that'll take up a lot of space. Now we can't run it down here, obviously. We can't do anything with that pink. Wonder if I could... 1, 2... I'm going to get jammed up on that there for blue and purple. Let's try this orange, see if I can do this right in my head. I gotta do this backwards. So 2, do that. Now I got to pull this over one. So it would be 1, 1, 2 there, and 3 down. All right. Still working for that life of peace, but I don't know if we're going to get there. Then I get this. Now I'm working at like 6 points. Opens up some opportunities for some purple. Let's see. I'm off 1. The other thing that you see here on the scoreboard is if you fill in an entire section, you get a corresponding amount with a coin. We're almost there. I would have done that if that space had filled out correctly here, but we're pretty good on the middle, and that's usually what happens, is this middle part will fill up. So we'll get 5 points in a coin if I can do that. Let's see what else we can do here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're starting round 8. At the end of 8, I've got, well, I'm pretty much just going to lose that one. I don't think there's really a way to save it now that everything else is either gone or achieved. All right, we got 1. We got 2 1s. We got 2 4s. And we got a pink 6. Let's see. Oh, we don't have any straightaways. This one would be ideal, but we can't do that because of that's in there. Might be able to do it here. Purple. I don't have any purple here either. So 1, 2, that would be 3. I could also put a purple here. If I put that purple there, there's no real purpose for it because I can't do an orange. So it's kind of a waste of a turn. I might be able to put it here. It's a square, so I could put the purple here, and then I could run some orange next to it. Oh wait, you know what? Right here. This one is 1 purple in each space of the brain. I don't have any purple here, and I can get some points off the orange. So I'm going to put this purple here. All right, so that gives me, I got 1, 2, 3 sections of the brain. I got 2 more, and then I have the possibility of getting that passion project and getting 5 points. Okay. Take these off. This is the end of round 8. So I'm going to slide these down before I figure out what happens. It says flip over lowest or highest value. Doesn't really matter. The only one left to flip is this. So I'm going to lose the highest score on a life of peace. But we're going to keep rolling and see what happens. No pun intended. All right. 2s. 2, 3, 4. Got a 3 in there. And an orange 6. We're pretty good on orange. I'm going to ignore that. Let's see what we can do with blue now. Is there anything that we need? We really need to color this in. And if I could... No, that's not going to touch into 2 sections of the brain. What I want to do is try to find one that I could do with blue that goes into two sections. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. Let's do, there's no blue up here in the brain. So let's do this. Now what that will do for us is at least knock out one more section. So we're still at -4. We got to figure that out. Still got a long way to go. I wish I could get a good straightaway where this, I could probably use one of these 2s and then at least fill the section part of the brain up. Pick this up. All right. This. All right, let's see what C we got. C could go here well. All right, I got 2 1s, got a 6, got a 3, and I got another 6. Let's see how we can maximize this. 3 works. Would get us, if I drew that shape one more time in here, it would give us a max of 10 points here. That C could also go there for purple. That would be 1 purple space. There's no orange there. So there's a C. Oh, I could do C here. And that, I've already got purple in that. This is going to give me purple in a different brain space for Passion Project. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. Man, if I could just get that extended out. Oh. This is going to maximize my points, though. You know what? Let's just press it. I'm going to do. Now I'm gonna go with my first instinct. I was going to put it over by the orange and try to see if that would max out some points, but there's no guarantee I'm going to have like another purple that fits well. So I'm going to put the purple here. And then maybe put some oranges under that so that I can get the points that I would have missed over here. Now keep in mind, I do have $2, so I can manipulate the cash and then fill stuff in. But I always don't like to use the money too much, just cause. But at the end, usually I'll see how jammed up I am and then start manipulating like the green die and then getting monies and then going in a circle to see what I can fill in. Looks like we've got 1 round left. Okay, I got 5, we got a 6, we got a 4, we got a 3, and we got a 2. That's a pretty good spread. All right, let's see. We have a blue C. And that would, no, I already have a blue section in that brain. Let's see. I could put an orange here. Because this is here, and that's 1, 2, it's 4 across. So if I could put that there if I can get something with that, and then fill in that section even though I don't really need it. Purple, at least one purple space in each section. So I could do 2 here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is times 2. So if I did 2 here, touching 2, that's 4. Plus all these others. 4 or 4 or 5. You know what I'm going to do? Look, I just noticed this. I'm going to put this purple here. So it crosses that line. I was going to put it here because this section of the brain doesn't have any purple, but now I have at least one purple there, but it's also adjacent and touching an orange, which gets me those points. So that's 1, 2. I already got one part in there and one part there. So I think I have one purple in every single section of the brain, which gets me Passion Project, the lowest score for it. So I can give myself 5 for that one. I've still not filled in any sections of the brain yet. Ooh. Could use some money. I have $2, so I can fill in a... There's no really single space I need to use that for right now. Or spend $2 when drawing a shape to use a dye color not assigned to that shape. I could use that C for something. And then, what is it? So if the C is there, and what else do we need? I need to color in all of this. If I can color in these, that would be ideal. I'm going to spend $2. And I am going to make, because it's far enough ahead, I'm going to make this pink. And I'm going to color this in with pink. Now that will color in this full section. I need one more square there and 3 more squares there in this final turn. Even if I were to, oh man, have to use another coin or use a green to do it. Oh. But I guess that's the trade-off. All right, well, this is what I'm doing. Sticking with it. And pink, I need to have, see if I, ideally, I don't think it's going to happen. If I could get green in the C shape, I would get points for the pink and get $1 to get a blank square to put in there to fill that in. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I think I may have just made a mistake. Last round. I'm going to move this over because I did finish Passion Project. So Life of Peace is the last one for 5. Let's see what I got. All right. Got a cross, which I suppose I could use that here. That's not an ideal shape. Blue 2, orange 3, pink 3, and a green 6. This is crazy. I can use any dye color and draw 1 by 2, but there's 3 here. I need 3. Or I need $2, which I don't have. And I can't put a green there anyway because it's not I could put a green here. and then get $1, and then, but man. All right, let's see. I don't really have any real great options. This could go here with a blue, and that would knock out the 4 and then give me 0. But there's no real need for me to do that, other than saving myself on the points, which I might be safe on. I should be okay with that. Can't put any green there. But, all right. I'm going to use this green 2, and I'm going to put the green 2 here. Now, I just realized I didn't put some score down, and I'm going to explain why I did this here in a second. It may be wrong. You guys may be yelling at the video going, no, didn't you see that? And the answer to that is no, I did not see that. But I do this. This gives me 1 coin. All right. So that gives me 2. Now, what I didn't realize is I had stated that I filled in this section of my brain, which means that I have gotten 10 points and another coin. So I've got that there. Because I filled this in, I got 5 points and another coin. So I have 3 coins. So I can trick this up. All right. So I'm going to spend $1, and I'm going to fill in, hold on, let's see. I'm going to fill this in with a black space, which means that I need 2. I can spend my last 2 coins and use this shape with any color. So to maximize that, I don't think it really matters what color I'm using, as long as it's not green. Purple adjacent to orange isn't going to help me. Blue, let's do, no, well, maybe I would knock off that 4, but let's see what else. Orange. Yeah, let's do orange. I'm going to, I paid my money already. I'm going to use the orange die and then make it 2. Put orange here. That will allow me to mark this, so at least I'm getting 10 points for it. I filled in this whole section of the brain, which now gives me an additional 10 points, as well as $1 or a coin. And I really don't have any place else. I'm going to be so screwed up on this. This is going to be where I max out like my points for negatives. Empty space with the most missed is going to be up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, let's mark through this coin, and then I'm at least going to color in one of these so I can deduct the hit that I'm going to get. And I did achieve Life of Peace with that. So I get 5 points for that. I'm not going to lie to you. I've tried to shoot this video 3 times. First one, I forgot to turn the video on, and I did a great job. I didn't have this much negative. Second time was okay. Perfect playthrough. Video ran out, phone died. So this is the third time trying to shoot, and I think that this is a good mix of the two, where I actually was managing to achieve this, even though it was 1. That's not too bad. I managed to achieve 1 at full max. Because as you all see now, there's a luck aspect to this. You shuffle up these shapes, you're going to get all of the shapes. You just don't know what the die are going to show you, and then you don't know where it's going to end up on the conveyor based on those die and how you fill this in. So this is not ideal, but it's actually gone pretty well in filling this part in. Like I said, a life of peace is very difficult, and I managed to do it this time, so I'm pretty happy with that. And I'm sure that the scoring mechanisms itself will kind of balance itself out. I might have actually gotten a pretty decent score. So that is Mind Space by Allplay. I hope you all dug this. I really like this game, and I really like this game solo. This is probably like my favorite solo game right now, just because it's so easy breezy and chill. There are some that maybe I can pull out that are a little more crunchy, but most of the time, especially with the way that my 9 to 5 does, when I come home, this is something that I prefer to pull out because it's just absolutely chilled out. And it's something that rolls fast, so it's a good travel game too. So I hope you appreciated the playthrough. I know I appreciate you watching the playthrough. And what I'm going to do is, after this, I'm going to score it all, and you'll see how I did. So thanks for watching. We're going to have another video coming up shortly, so make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. And we hope to see you again soon. Thanks.